He was candidate Trump's and then President Trump's main advisor on national security and foreign policy. But today, Michael Flynn entered a guilty plea in the special counsel's investigation into Russia, the Trump campaign, and the 2016 election. William Brangham begins our coverage.
Michael Flynn walked into federal court in Washington this morning and pled guilty to a single count of making false statements to the FBI. He's now the senior-most member of the Trump administration to cooperate in special counsel Robert Mueller's probe into Russian meddling in the election. Prosecutors say Flynn lied when he denied he and Russian Ambassador Sergei Kislyak discussed U.S. sanctions against Russia during and after the 2016 campaign. According to court documents, Flynn now says an unidentified senior official in the Trump transition team directed his contacts with the Russians. In a statement, Flynn said his guilty plea and agreement to cooperate with the special counsel are, quote, in the best interests of my family and of our country. And he said, I accept full responsibility for my actions.
You guys are good. Yeah, that's right. Lock her up.
The retired lieutenant general was an ardent booster of candidate Trump.
If I did a tenth of what she did, I would be in jail today.
Sometimes Flynn led chants against Hillary Clinton and defended Trump's America First approach.
That the destructive pattern of putting the interests of other nations ahead of our own will end when Donald Trump is president.
Then he was tapped to be national security advisor, but in February, the president fired him. The White House said he'd misled officials about his discussions with Kislyak.
General Flynn is a wonderful man.
Still, President Trump continued to defend Flynn.
I think he's been treated very, very unfairly by the media, as I call it, the fake media in many cases. And I think it's really a sad thing that he was treated so badly.
Today, just after the guilty plea, the White House canceled a photo op with President Trump and the Libyan prime minister, and the president ignored shouted questions.
President, anything you say about Michael Flynn?
Instead, in a statement, White House attorney Ty Cobb said, the false statements involved mirror the false statements to White House officials, which resulted in his resignation in February of this year. Nothing about the guilty plea or the charge implicates anyone other than Mr. Flynn. Cobb added that Flynn's plea clears the way for a prompt and reasonable conclusion to the Russia probe. Flynn has also been accused of attempting to cover up lobbying work he did for the Turkish government. He was reportedly paid at least $600,000 for that work just before he was tapped as national security advisor. He's one of 4 former Trump advisors charged thus far in the Mueller investigation. The others are former Trump campaign chairman Paul Manafort and his business associate Rick Gates, and former transition team member George Papadopoulos. Flynn's sentencing is expected in a few months. For the PBS NewsHour, I'm William Brangham.
We'll explore the Flynn plea deal and how it affects the White House after the news summary.